Kia ora Year 12. This is question 2 from last year's algebra exam. It's going to be a really short video with just 2A and B because I want to do all of the long part C question in one go. So this one has just got a couple of simplification problems to look at. So the first one is to simplify this thing here. You can see that we've got a quadratic in the numerator and we've got a linear thing in the denominator. So let's just write it out down here. We've got x squared minus x minus 12 over 4x plus 12. So looking at the denominator first, we can see we've got a common factor here of 4. So we've got 4 times x plus 3. And in the numerator, we'll try and factorize this quadratic. So we've got x times x. We need two numbers that multiply to negative 12 and have got a gap of 1. So 4 and 3 are going to work. Let's do it like this. We'll put the 4 here and the 3 here. We need to have the negative going with the 4 because we've got a minus x in here. So we can simplify this by dividing a numerator and denominator by x plus 3, leaving us with x minus 4 over 4. So that's fine. The other way to write that is x over 4 minus 1. Most of you will have left it like that, and that's all good. Right, the next one asks us to write this as a single fraction in its simplest form. And right away you can see a big red flashing light that you've got a subtraction here and you've got a negative sign in here. So if you were in my class, or if you're in my class now, you'll know that you have to be really careful with these, that you don't forget how to deal with the negatives. So 5x over x minus 3 minus x minus 4 over x plus 2. And we can think of this as being an invisible brackets sign, and we might want to already put in our brackets around there. When we subtract fractions, we need to get a common denominator. So the common denominator will be x minus 3 times x plus 2. What did I do to this? I multiplied it by this, so I have to do the same operation to the numerator. So I've got a year 10 video, I think, on algebraic fractions, or you can find those, heaps of those on Dr. Frost or Education Perfect. And here we've got the same thing, so we're going to take away x minus 4 times x minus 3. We have to do a bit of work cleaning up the numerator. We get 5x squared plus 10x minus x squared minus 4x minus 3x plus 12, doing that very slowly. I'm just going to leave this here for now because I'm kind of hoping that something might simplify out. So it's good to leave that factorized. So we've got 5x squared plus 10x minus x squared. Now here we've got minus 7x times a negative, so plus 7x. And lastly, we've got minus 12. So again, just leave that denominator as it is so that we can see what's going on. Okay, so 4x squared plus 17x minus 12 over this. So the next thing that I want to do is to try to factorize this numerator. And it's a 4x squared one, so we can do a little bit of guess and check, but that doesn't get us too far. So I'm going to try and do it properly by the grouping method, or sometimes called the AC method. So I want two numbers that times together to give me negative 48, right? That's the 4 times the negative 12. And two numbers that when I add them together are going to give me 17. So let's think about factors of 48, or pairs of factors of 48. So we've got 48 times 1, that's not going to work. The gap is 47. 24 times 2, 16 times 3, 12 times 4, 8 times 6. Now, none of these are going to give me a gap of 48. I'm saying a gap of 48 because one of them is going to be positive and one's going to be negative. So for example, if I put in, let's put in here, negative 24 times 2, that works for that one. But when I add those two numbers, 24 plus 2, I don't get 17, right? I get negative 22. And the same thing goes for all of those factor pairs. So that's telling me that there are no nice integer factors, which means I can't simplify that expression any further. The other way you can do that is you could do it with the quadratic formula, or you can just chuck it into your calculator and have a look. And you'll see that I don't actually know what the solutions will be. There might not be any. But that's as far as we can take that numerator. So that means that that's my final answer for this question. So we can either leave it written like this, or we can expand out that denominator. So here we've got x squared minus x minus 6. So I would give either of those a full mark. The schedule's not out yet, so I haven't seen if they wanted you to expand this. I think it just looks better like that, but I think they're both correct. Okay, so the next video coming is going to be a much more difficult one where I go through the 3 parts of question 2C, and that's on compound interest and logs and exponential.